Are live.
Hey, everybody.
Hello, friends. Welcome.
Hello, friends, backpackers, hikers from all over the
How y'all doing?
universe. KeelQuest just showing up. How you guys doing?
What's up, John and Colleen, Tanya, Ross, Tony?
Everybody else is here. Everybody needs to be here, right?
I think so.
So,
All right, so
go ahead. What you been up to, buddy? How you been?
absolutely nothing. I have not left my house in 4 weeks.
I haven't seen you for a few weeks. I know how it is. I've been friends with you long enough. When it gets hot, you hibernate for sure.
Yeah, I can't do the heat, man. And maybe if I lose weight, maybe that'll help. But
it's still hot.
No, okay,
it's still hot. Brian West joining us in from fresh in from Colorado.
Brian West, what's up? Jeremy, what's up?
Hey.
9 days till time to roll out. Okay.
On which trip? He's got like 19 plans.
I know. He's going to the dunes in Michigan. Okay. So we have a great show tonight, don't we? Tell them who we have, Brian.
Absolutely. So unless you guys have been under a rock, you know who our next guest is. It is Nicole from Nicole Hikesalot. So Chris, you want to bring her in?
Here we go.
There she is. Nicole and Tim.
Nicole and her child. Why is she sitting so much lower?
This chair is just smaller.
This was a really short notice type thing right now.
Okay.
I was like, fine. Get up here. And we only have a very short second chair.
That's all right. We can still see you above her name.
So Tim, you can join and sit in the kids' chair.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Well, great. Right. You guys could both make it. So if
welcome.
We are both here.
Yeah.
Catching you guys at home as much as you travel.
We are actually home right now.
Yeah.
Right.
That's awesome.
I know.
So like we talked before, Nicole, it's same system we always do. I'm just going to kind of go over and introduce everybody to you. If, like I said, I would imagine everybody here in the chat right now has probably watched your channel, but for those who may join, it just went downhill, guys. I apologize. My computer showed up. We were going to have a good show. Anyways, Nicole, we're glad to have you. If you guys haven't checked out Nicole's channel, Nicole Hikesalot, please go check her out. It is incredible.
That would be awesome. Thank you.
Yes, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. But it is incredible. I cannot believe how many places you have been before the show. And like every show, I think I know the guest. Most of the time I know who's going to be on. And I always go to their channels, rewatch some videos. Maybe there's some I haven't seen and just try to familiarize myself with your channel. And like I was joking with you before, I think the list of places that you haven't been is shorter than the list of places you have been at this point. So
that could be possible.
It is amazing the places you guys have been and some incredible hikes. So getting started, I guess some of the generic questions out of the way, what got you into hiking, backpacking?
Actually, for me, I would have to say that I was raised with in a family that was very interested in hiking, day hiking, and traveling. My parents were really big on that, fortunately. So I think ever since I was born, they took me places, and I have pictures to prove that. Otherwise, I wouldn't remember. But and we just traveled all over the place in Europe, to Austria, Switzerland, Italy, Croatia. And that was really fun. So I always had a connection to nature, and it's something I always escape to in difficult times, even during high school, because I didn't quite feel like I fit in. Mm-hmm. And I only had like a couple of really good friends. I wasn't the type that was very outgoing. I was very shy and reserved, and nature helped me to just deal with, the tough times. And I often rode my bike, and I would just take it go to the woods, sit down on a tree log and just read or take in the beauty around me. And that's all I needed to feel much better. And I never got into trouble, like maybe some other kids did in the past growing up. I just always felt that all I needed was clear my head out in nature and everything was much better. I could deal with things. And then when
you're not shy anymore, though. So did nature do that for you?
No, I mean, I am actually. I'm always worried about, saying the right thing, doing the right thing, not upsetting people, and And even when we do meetups, I'm nervous. How will it go, and does this person enjoy my company and all that? So, yeah.
Meetups are a different thing.
Eventually,
I get nervous at the meetups.
Yeah. And I think when we got together, we just watched a hiking show actually on PBS. And the dude that was doing the show, he was from California. And he often hiked in the Sierra. And it just became a dream for us to do what he was doing. And so we just decided, hey, we need to start backpacking, and we bought all the gear, made a big investment one Christmas, spent like $1,000 shedding out for all the gear that we thought was the right gear, which turned out it wasn't, but we learned as we were going, and we started backpacking.
That's awesome. What about you, Tim? Did you always do it, or did you, was it later in life?
No. Yeah, it was later in life, really. I mean, when I was a kid, I did like to explore. I'd get out on my bike and drive out and ride out into the country and get lost and stuff like that. And I was in the Cub Scouts. We did go on a few trips, but I really didn't get into it until I met Nicole. And like she said, we really got into it when we started watching Motion with Greg Aiello and seeing some of those hikes. And we thought, yeah, we want to do that too. So that's when we started getting into it.
That's awesome. Awesome. Sorry, Brian, go ahead.
No. Hey, feel free. You've got questions. I will let you speak.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
So like I was alluding to, you guys have hiked so many incredible places. Do you have any favorites? I'm sure it's probably hard to pick one, but there's just maybe a couple favorites that you've been to.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, the Sierra Mountains can't be beat. We've done a section hike of the John Muir Trail there a couple of times. It's just hard to beat that area, the mountains and the beautiful lakes and stuff. And then I don't know what would be our other favorite.
For me, it's really difficult because I love different places for different settings, nature settings, and different terrain.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know if you know this, but like 6-7 years ago, we got kind of crazy and we thought we love it out west so much that we should move out there because we love hiking there. And, so Tim actually applied for different jobs all over the Western area with the government. And he ended up getting an offer. This was the very first job offer that came from Prescott, Arizona, which is near Sedona. It's, a beautiful area.
Mm-hmm.
And we thought, oh yeah, we're going to do that. It's going to be so awesome. And we packed up everything, had all our stuff moved out to Arizona, and got there and realized, even though they said it's a dry heat and it's, it was elevated, it sits like at 5,600 feet. So it was slightly cooler, but the heat was still really getting to us. And we soon got kind of homesick. We did a lot of hiking and backpacking in the Grand Canyon while we were out there. Went to Havasupai Falls. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
And Sedona, you can't beat it. And we drove to Yosemite from there, you know, and Joshua Tree, even made it up to Oregon. But then after a little while, we just got more and more homesick for Indiana.
Wait, what?
Wait, what? So, because like the heat was so bad that my eyes were burning really bad. I had to take medication. And so Tim applied for yet another job back in Indiana. And
Poor
here
Tim.
we are.
Yeah.
We are back here now, and we've been back for 7 years now, and we feel like we are in a pretty good spot from Indiana to go to all the places we love. I love Colorado and also Washington State, Oregon, awesome stuff. But then again, we love Michigan. We love the Upper Peninsula. Because it is just so different up there, and Lake Superior. And Tennessee, I love Tennessee because it has the most wonderful waterfalls.
Oh yeah.
One place that I just fell in love with is Big South Fork because of there are no crowds down there. So if you really want solitude,
Yeah, you get it.
Big South Fork,
Really?
it's a lot like Red River Gorge, but a lot less crowded. Great campsites, and so I'm glad that we live relatively close to some of those places, you know.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
Big South Fork. I want to get down there and explore that a little bit more. It's been
Yeah, I
years
haven't
since
been
we've
there.
been down there. We need to get down there. We need to do a trip down there.
I don't leave Indiana typically, but
Right.
Yeah.
So we've got a question in chat. Jeremy from All Things Outdoors asked Nicole, what has been your most challenging trip?
That would probably be the Grand Canyon, closely followed by the John Muir Trail in the Sierra Mountains. We did just a section of that 60 miles from Agnew Meadows to the Yosemite Valley. That was pretty challenging, but I would have to go with the Grand Canyon because that was our very first backpacking hike. And we did it with all the wrong gear and all the wrong stuff you can imagine. We had Walmart backpacks, very thin pads to sleep on. The tent that we got was a very cheap tent, and all I know is my feet were sticking out of the zipper on the bottom because I'm too tall. And it totally blew. And we took those Indian meals that you buy at the store that are heavy. They're already prepared, you know, they're liquidy and heavy, and bagels. We brought a whole pack of bagels. No pocket rocket, no stove, nothing like that. So it was pretty tough. We went all the way to Phantom Ranch. Spent a couple of nights down there and hiked back up, and I thought I was gonna just fall over and die.
Well, we've all had trips like that for sure.
You want to tell them how I screamed?
Oh yeah, Nicole was screaming on the hike back up and throwing her trekking poles and saying, "Whose idea was this?" We got to finally got back up to the top of the rim. We made it to the lodge to get something to eat. And after sitting down just for a couple of minutes, I could barely get back up again. My legs were so stiff. It was horrible. I had never experienced that kind of stiffness in my legs.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And you know, the same mistake that we always do this. We go in the back country and we get a permit for like 5 days. But then we only do maybe 4 days because we get in a hurry and we get hungry. We want to get to the next restaurant and we hurry and then exhaust ourselves even more.
Yeah.
All the time.
I've done that several times, so don't feel bad.
So.
We just did it on the last Pictured Rocks trip. We had 5 days, 4 nights. And on the 4th day, we're like, hey, we're only 3.5 miles from the car. And I was talking to Chris and telling Paige, and we're all just like, what's 3.5 more miles? We would rather get to the cars and drive to a hotel. And we ended up having a day to kind of play around in town the next. So it all worked out. But I know exactly what you mean. You're like, all right, I'm ready for like town food. Like I want a restaurant, a cold
Oh,
beer or
yeah.
something, you know?
Yeah, that hiker
So,
hunger, it takes over,
oh yeah.
right?
Yep. So still on the, like the favorite places and that, I was going to ask you about Capitol Reef. You put out I think you were there in January. You put out a video about 2 different day hikes, and I picked up on it, and it may mean nothing, but you said that Capitol Reef was a special place for you. Was that just one of those special places, or does it like have a real true meaning? Is that where the Tim proposed you there or something? You know? Or does it just have just one of those special places for you? I may be reading into it more than you really meant.
Yeah, it definitely is. And it's just when I'm in Utah in general, I feel this like I can really get into a different mindset of what the Native Americans that lived out there a long time ago, what that might have been like for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the red sandstone in general, and seeing the Native American art and evidence that was left behind.
Yeah.
And the arches, and Capitol Reef is just another one of those places that is not too crowded, and that's why we love it. You know,
Yes.
Every time we go there,
Mm-hmm.
I highly recommend it. If you ever get out that way, I know Bryce Canyon is awesome, Zion is awesome, but a place often overlooked, I think, is Capitol Reef, and people don't even know about it, but it is so beautiful, and you don't have to do anything difficult. They have a lot of great day hikes, you know, simple stuff for the whole family. Or if you want to backpack, they actually have some free permits you can get at the visitor center, and they can recommend something. Most of those hikes, you might have to carry in some water depending on the season. But again, no crowds, clear skies, just very much, a lot of solitude, peaceful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, it's definitely on my list. I've been to Utah once and in Zion and done some stuff at Capitol Reef. It's one of those places I'd like to go.
So Mike in the chat said this. Mike goes,
I know what he's talking about.
yeah. So if you want to talk about that, that's fine. If not, we can keep going.
Yeah. No, I was just solo car camping. I think it was at the Two Lakes Trail, and it was in the winter, and nobody else was, well, as far as I knew, nobody else was at that campground, except for the camp host. I have to say that. And I set up, you know, and had a really good time doing my fire and everything. And then later in the video, you can see this dark, mysterious creature crawling through the woods behind me, somewhere in the distance.
Mm-hmm.
And Tim actually watched it, and he goes, "Look at that! Did you notice that when you were there?" And I didn't. And I just told people that was my Bigfoot sight, you know, my Bigfoot sighting.
Yeah.
But in reality, I hate to crush people's thoughts on that, but it was probably just someone camped down from me around the loop that got some firewood. But in the video, it kind of looks really funny.
Yeah, it does. It does.
So,
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Sorry, Mike.
So along with so many places that you've been, incredible places and hikes you guys have done, you've also got the chance, and that's one of the things I love about the YouTube thing, is just the community, and we all watch each other's videos and getting to meet each other. You have met a ton of other YouTubers in this community. Is there anybody out there you haven't met yet that you would like to meet?
Oh, that's a good question. Wow, you're good at this.
Yes, there is actually. Well, you know, Dixie, for one thing.
Well,
and,
you know,
Brian,
Nicole,
I'm envious of your Dixie.
Dixie and I go way back.
Yes, Dixie moment that you had recently here. But yeah, she would be one person, you know, but who doesn't have that dream, you know?
Right.
And always liked Darwin on the trail. But, you know, he's kind of done with the whole video YouTube thing, but it would still be great to talk to him a little bit.
Yeah.
And another person that I would like to see is Joey from My Own Frontier.
Yeah.
Really always liked watching his videos. He's amazing because he does some really awesome off-trail stuff, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Is there anyone? And of course, anybody that I haven't met that you know, all you YouTubers, there are so many great people out here in this community. And that's why I didn't quit this yet, is just the friendships that I've made. That's the most important thing to me. I'm not making money on my channel, and that's irrelevant to me. So I'm doing it for the friendships that have formed. And most recently, on that Cumberland Island trip, it was great to meet the wandering monk, Danny. And I really hope to see him again. He's a great inspiration, and just senior hiker, you know, and just awesome people out there. The Indiana community is great right here. Would love to get together with you guys and actually do a backpacking overnight.
Yeah.
Same with Tanya Browning, anyone who wants to. If anyone's watching tonight that would like to do that, if, you know, I haven't gotten to meet you, I would love to do that. So
I have a question about somebody that you have met. And so you've hiked probably a couple of times now, I believe, with Catherine Gregory.
Yes.
Yeah. So a friend of mine asked me to ask this question. His name rhymes with Toot.
A friend?
A friend. His name rhymes with Toot. And he wanted to know what she's like in real life. If she is down to earth and as nice as she appears in her videos.
No, not really. Just joking. She really is. So, yep.
Cool.
And
Okay. I figured
pretty
she
much,
was.
yeah. What you see is what you get. So she actually is a very nice, laid-back person, fun to be around. And I know that she really strives to deliver the best in her videos. That's very important to her. You know, she takes it very seriously to deliver a great video every week. And yes, her feelings get hurt by criticism, just like any of us. And what she actually did was, when we went backpacking, she invited me to spend the night in her camper. And I was just pinching myself the whole time that I was in the camper. And I kept thinking, wow, I'm in Catherine's camper. This is so awesome, you know. And we watched a movie on Netflix, and it was great. The next morning, she made coffee, and she always makes Starbucks coffee, if you haven't noticed that, the dark roast. And that's what I usually send her for Christmas now, is I send her some dark roast coffee and one of my painted rocks, and she'll probably end up having 10 of those pretty soon. But what did you?
Yeah, so I met her once, and we did a nice hike, and she just seems super friendly, and you can really tell that she's very professional in what she's doing, meticulous in getting just the right pictures and scenes and stuff like that. So interesting to talk to. So
cool.
We hope to see her again.
Chris, you should put up Hoot's last
I will.
chat.
Yeah, sure you do.
Oh, that's great. That's the whole reason I asked that question.
Right. All right. So on to more recent trips. So you guys were recently up in Pictured Rocks, and that is I've done it twice now. The full trail once. We did like 34 miles this last time, but is that not like just a totally different place on earth compared? I mean, you go through Michigan and it's not, you get up there on that Pictured Rocks, and I think if anybody hasn't done it yet, they should go do it. It's such an easy terrain trail, and it's just full the whole time.
Yeah. But watch the bears. The bears are wicked, not to be
Yeah,
underestimated.
we'll get into that in here.
Well, we're going to get into that because first time my wife and I went up there, we stayed at Benchmark the first night. And she'll tell the story that I tried to kill her because we did it in 4 days, 3 nights. And we were reaching close to 11 miles a day. And she just does not like that mileage. But anyways, first day we made it to Benchmark. And that next morning we were laying in our hammocks, and our hammocks were in the trees and we're almost shoulder to shoulder. And I heard something walking through, and it was definitely a bear walking through our camp. And I'm laying there thinking, I hope she's just asleep. She won't even notice this. And you could hear the bear go off in the distance. And once it's far enough away, she nudges me. She's like, honey, was that a bear? I'm like, yeah, but that's the only encounter I've had with them up there. So, that and the mosquitoes. I don't know how bad they were for you guys.
Horrible.
Mm-hmm.
The first time we went, it was cold. And this last time, they about ate me alive. So they were pretty bad for you guys as well this time.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
So bears.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about bears.
What kind of bear encounters have you guys had up there?
Oh, that was probably the worst. But bears go everywhere we go in general. I mean, literally.
Note to self: don't backpack with. Oh, okay.
Yeah. But and I mean it.
There it is. There's, yep.
But
They do follow you.
And maybe that's the reason. But so we, this was on the 4th of July weekend 2 years ago. We went to Pictured Rocks and we stayed at the Chapel Beach campsite.
Mm-hmm.
And we wanted to do, the right thing for some solitude. And we set up at the very last side away from people and had a jolly old time swimming in the creek and making our dinner. And after that, we cleaned everything, put everything into our bear canisters that we had brought with the lid on it.
Mm-hmm.
I know they have the bear locker. And in hindsight, we should have put our stuff into the provided bear locker, but we used our bear canisters, closed them up and everything, and put them away from camp like you're supposed to. So the only things that we had in the tent was our pillows, air pads, sleeping bag. Nothing else was even in there. And as far as what was left out was the water bag that you use for with the straw on it, the big water bag, hydration pack, and our little propane can. Those were the two items left out, and we just relaxed inside the tent, kind of sitting there. And you know how the Lanshan has just enough room to see underneath it for a little bit.
Yep.
And I'm sitting there and I'm looking out and I see this bear standing right outside of our tent.
Oh, jeez.
I just see the huge legs right there in front of the tent, and I start just sweating, and I go, Tim, bear, and he goes, yeah, I know, because he's our bears that we take, and I'm like, no, not those bears, big bear. And he goes, oh crap. So we both unzip from each side and we get out and we take our two empty clean pots that were still there and we start what you're supposed to do and bang them together, and trekking poles, we take those and I'm clapping and yelling, hey bear, and he just stands there.
He's like, yeah, nice a dinner and a movie.
He's like, what do you want, and he just looks at us and turns around and looks at us. And I said, I think we have a problem, right?
Yep.
So we just kind of waited until he slowly walked in a circle and he kind of seemed to be taking off for the moment. And I said, let's just go to the beach and watch the sunset. And hopefully when we come back, he'll be gone, you know. And we took the bears with us because we didn't want him tearing things up. And we went to watch the sunset. And maybe half an hour later, we came back to camp. And he had literally flattened out everything. Ripped
That's an
down the
emotional roller
tent.
coaster right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he ate through that little propane tank. It was spewing gas all over.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay, that's just a dick move from a bear.
yeah.
That's not even. There's no food there. He's just being a dick at that
Right.
point.
And he ate through the pillow that I had with me, and it can't be stench because I take some water. It didn't smell like detergent or anything. So it shouldn't have had a big stench to it, you know, and he ate through the tent. The lampshade had puncture holes in it, and that made me so mad.
Okay, but what I really want to know was, how was the sunset?
It was good, but who thinks about that anymore? And then we didn't have. Then the worst part about that was we packed up everything. Tim was waiting with the bear spray because he was actually. You want to tell the rest?
Well, we went to go get our bear canisters, and the bear was at the bear canisters, you know, holding them like this, and you know, saying, "Yeah, these are mine, and you can't have them back." So we were like, you know, yelling at him, you know, go away, go away.
Where we asked these two people to help us.
Yeah, 2 day hikers came by. We asked them, "Hey, come over here and help us," and they were like yelling and at the bear, and the bear was just sitting there holding the cans, you know. And we just got so frustrated. We didn't want to do anything like you know, throw anything at him or anything like that. So we decided to pack up. What Nicole was packing up, I had the bear spray, you know, watching to make sure the bear didn't come at us. Packed up, we moved our operation a lot further away, closer to other people, and
we had to ask for dinner.
We had to go back to the beach and ask some people that they were having a nice romantic dinner on the beach, a nice young couple, and we said, "Oh, you know, we're so hungry. Could you spare some food for us? You know, a bear has our canisters. We can't get to our food." And they gave us some food, and they were super nice.
Wow.
Yeah, the trail provides, right?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
So, hey, Chris, you haven't been to Pictured Rocks. You want to go sometime?
Go.
Come on.
That'd be a whole different thing, man. I wouldn't. You guys were nice to the bear. I wouldn't be that nice to the bear.
I could definitely picture how that would happen, because some of those sites, you know, so you have to get a permit to stay at a certain site, but inside that site, there's usually 5 or 6 different sites, and some of them can be pretty far away from each other. And I don't know. I can definitely see where that happens, because those bears probably just know where you know, there's people here. There's going to be food, and
they leave
not everybody's.
Trash.
Yeah.
We found a whole cooler on the way, a whole cooler full of old food.
Yeah.
Really? See, now that's one thing. I've never seen trash there. So, but I don't doubt there is. There gets to be so many people that visit there every year. So,
Pikel Meterson has a question here. Or are you? I don't know.
Never cooked in the tent.
No, never.
He's probably just looking for food.
But you know what the funniest thing was? A week after that happened, Jason Outdoors went up there, and the same thing happened to him.
I bet it was the same bear.
Yeah.
Could be.
So we reported it to the park rangers and actually sent them an official email. And the guy came back and he's like, "Oh yeah, they're pretty accustomed to finding food and trash, and he will calm down when it gets cold outside." And I'm thinking,
that's your advice.
Of course he will calm down when it's cold out. No one will be out there.
Have you stayed at the potato patch or Potato Creek? I can't remember. It's toward the end, that the Miners Beach. Have you stayed at that campsite up there?
No, we have not.
That one, if there was going to be a bear anywhere, I would never stay there again. I stayed there the first time we went, and we may stay there again because there was like, it's kind of up on a hill and it's secluded and it's not a real big spot. And like the bear box is right in the middle of all the camps, like real close to where everybody would be camping. And there's an apple orchard right there. So I'm sure apples are in, the bears never come there.
Ooh, apples.
So,
Ooh.
yeah, I made sure, I was like, I will never stay here again. But we just had the one come through camp that one early morning, and he just walked through, and it was paying us no mind. But yeah, that's a pretty interesting story. That's beats any bear encounter I have, and anything that I ever want to have. So
yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no doubt. You're full for a few days.
Oh yeah, he won't bother anyone for a few days.
Oh my goodness. So moving on to other recent bear free trips, how was Patton Cave with Hoot?
Yeah,
how was that trip?
That was really pretty awesome. We can't wait to go with him again. That was so much fun. I was laughing the whole time.
Yeah.
I hated to have to miss that one.
Yeah, he is so much fun. Hoot, are you there today? Is he on there?
Yeah, he should be on here.
Yeah, he's been in here. So
I hated to miss that one, but it's looked like you guys had a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, especially with the popcorn and
the Jiffy Pop.
The Jiffy Pop. I mean,
yes. We have talked about Jiffy Pop so many times, and then when I seen you guys cooking that and it turned out like crap, I was like, well, I guess we're on to the next.
You're not supposed to cook it over fire, actually.
Yeah.
Well,
I've still got 3 ready to go for the trips that are coming up.
Nice.
And he said, next time bring the bears. He's like, where are the bears? And I said, well, I didn't want to, overwhelm you with that and, make you think that we're crazy. And he's like, no, you should have brought the bears because I want to get, want to have a few drinks with them and really enjoy that and make a video out of it. So
ever the thespian he is.
Oh, see, and next time you guys are going to bring the bears, and little do you know he's going to show up dressed like a pirate or a Viking or something. You don't know what you're going to be hiking with next. You never know. Yeah, were both your all's videos are great. I haven't been to Patton Cave. I need to get out there, but
I haven't either.
If you've spent a weekend hiking and around with Hoot, it's always a good time. You usually leave with your your jaws sore from laughing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hoot just said, I have 2 Jiffy Pop left. Well, bring one this weekend, Hoot.
Yeah, I was gonna say you should try it down there at the Red River Gorge.
Yeah, maybe we can make that happen.
Just over coals, not over fire.
Yeah, no, just throw it in the fire.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask you, you've got to be a pro by now, trip planning. You guys have been so many places. Are you one that like really plans out to the T like I do? I have OCD. I have to know everything. Or do you guys just kind of wing it and say, hey, we're going here and just kind of figure it out as when you get there?
Oh, both. Because like most recently, flights have been kind of unpredictable right now. They cancel a lot of flights. So we recently got up in the morning, ready to go to the airport. And usually I'm like you, I like to plan everything out. I make all my reservations, ahead of time. And we got up, we're ready to go to the airport, and they canceled the flight on us 2 hours prior to departure. And this was going to be a trip to the Sierra in California. We already had really awesome permits and everything lined up, rental car. Yeah. So we lost maybe 10 minutes being angry, cursing. And then we put our heads together and started thinking, and this was at 5 a.m. Let's just make lemonade out of lemons and think of plan B. So I went on the website for Rocky Mountain National Park and scored a permit to one of our favorite lakes, like in the spur of the moment, no planning. And we already had our stuff out in the back, in the car, in the back seat, and we just added what we thought we needed for the road trip, made a reservation at Campgrounds of America for the night, and off we went to Colorado.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I know there was
Yeah.
elevation on that trip. How much elevation did you guys get when you went up to that lake? Because I know you said in a
Yeah.
couple of places
That was
That-
Finch Lake, right? Was
Yeah,
that
Finch
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 Lake?
Lake.
rough going.
I think that sits right below 11,000 feet. And I think the first one, Uzel Lake, is a little higher than that one, but they're both below 11,000. I think 10.8 and 10.5 or something. But yeah, that usually gets to us out there a little bit, the elevation.
Yeah.
I had headaches and nauseation before really bad, and it's very important to drink that water and hydrate and eat salty snacks and maybe add an electrolyte to your drink to get over that and adjust. But that was a really nice trip. Yeah, really. You know, it turned out great. I think.
Yeah, so we can be impulsive sometimes.
Yeah.
We usually like to plan things, but we're always ready for plan B.
Yeah, but like, you know, we made these plans for what we're going to do this year quite some time ago, because I had originally said, hey, if you want to come along, let me know.
Yeah.
So like this next one, the trip to Crater Lake in Indian Peaks, we must have planned that out like 10 months ago.
Oh,
and so, or 6 months ago, you know, when you can first get that permit, that's how we usually like to do it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
I'd love to do that one, man.
So I was going to question it just
got
popped
2
in my head.
slots
And
open. I still got
I
a
know.
permit for 4.
who wants to go? I was just thinking of, like, you guys talking about flying and with all your backing gear and that. Do you ever have trouble with the gear that you take? I know you can't take canisters or like sharp objects. Have they ever kind of give you any grief, or do you guys just throw your backpack on with all of your stuff, excluding canister and knives and stuff, and go? Or do you pack in a suitcase? How do you guys usually pack for those trips that you actually have to fly to your destination?
We cram it into 2 suitcases, just regular suitcases. And it's tough because for the Sierra, you have to have that required bare canister. You can't have your hilltop packs back. So it's kind of difficult to cram it all in there, but it works because we now have lightweight backpacks and you can kind of, you know, squeeze those in there and add the bear can below. And then we usually even take all our dry food, all the snacks, we just cram it all in there, 40 pounds on most airlines, some of them 50, but that usually, our luggage only weighs, I think like 32 pounds usually with everything.
Yeah, we usually have weight to spare.
Yeah.
Nice.
And you know, you just have to remember to get the propane when you get there, because you can't take that. And we've screwed that up before. Then we had no propane. And you can't have bear spray. So that's kind of a downside, because who wants to spend $50 on bear spray for just a short trip, you know? So
yeah, because you can't take it back with you either.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So we keep talking about how many places you've been. What kind of bucket list do you guys have for the future? You have any kind of places you don't have planned yet, but you would like to go to in the future?
Yeah, we do. We do. Especially the White Mountains in New Hampshire and Vermont. And I would love to go back to Maine. We've only been there once, and we didn't see very much at all. Definitely want to go up there in the fall sometime. That would be amazing. And I think we would both kind of like to go to Alaska one day, but that's going to have to wait a little bit until we have more time, because, you know, Tim still works and it's difficult to do a longer trip. We have pets. So you always got to think about that, you know, what you do with your pets when you're gone longer. And
you don't mean the bears, you mean
actual pets.
They come with us. See?
Oh, yeah.
But do you have anything on your bucket list?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see even more of Northern California, the redwoods, and some more of Oregon.
Yeah,
and,
definitely.
yeah.
There's
Sorry.
There's
go
a
ahead.
place out in Oregon called the Steens Wilderness. Have you heard of it? It is
No.
it is right next to like a desert or a playa, and it has it's one of the places I had planned on going. So it's a place I've looked up and researched. I look it up at Steens Wilderness.
Wow.
It looks awesome.
Yeah.
Central Oregon.
Yeah.
Chris, have you ever heard of Mount Albert?
No,
Albert,
I've never heard of
Colorado.
that.
I've heard it's Colorado
Yeah.
somewhere.
I don't know what you're talking
Gotta
about.
look into
Yeah,
that
and
one.
there's a lot more in Colorado, like San Juan mountain range,
Oh, yeah.
down there, and Gunnison, and would really like to make it down to Texas because we haven't been there, and go to
Big
Big
Bend.
Bend. Yeah,
Yeah.
would love to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And maybe even more places like just Missouri, the Ozarks and Arkansas.
Yep.
Would like to really see places we haven't seen a lot
Yeah,
of,
yeah.
and Wisconsin, northern Wisconsin, the Apostle Islands, Isle Royal.
Mm-hmm.
So
But
all
above
that's
all
a
else-
little more difficult to get to.
But above all else, you want like the thing that beats them all, right? Is an abandoned pond in the Charles C. Deer
That's
Wilderness.
right. That's right. That's what we're doing.
Yes.
That's the one you really want. That's your
Yes.
bucket
Yes,
list.
A
yes,
backpacking
it is.
trip with that hiking guy. Who doesn't
That's
want
right.
that?
But see, that's what it's all about. Is some of the funnest times, the best times we've had, is just with other people, out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Just sitting around a campfire.
yeah, you don't have to go
Yeah.
very far to have a good time. And it's actually funny because I don't get too many views on my videos, but the better videos are actually just from Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So every time I post something from Indiana, it does better than if I travel very far. So
Isn't that crazy?
I said, I don't need to go anywhere. I just go to stay right here, do something,
Yeah. It is amazing how many places we do have here. I mean, nothing grand like the Rockies, and then how many people in this area or just in Indiana have YouTube channels that are on backpacking. You would think, there probably is more out west in the Rockies or something, but there's a lot of people in Indiana with YouTube channels of backpacking. I do believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, but I think every guest we've had on so far has been an Indiana YouTuber.
Yeah, that's what we're working through Indiana folks first.
Right.
And I would love to meet David Gray sometime too. He's awesome.
Oh, you haven't met him?
from Indiana.
Yeah. Well, he might.
He was at the last meetup.
Yeah, he might be at the
I
next one.
know, and I missed that. Yeah, we missed it. Yeah.
I'll try to get him there.
You're right, Michael Peterson. I should start up a YouTube channel. You're right.
Yeah.
Always a smarty pants, Mr. Peterson.
Smarty man.
So,
but we will definitely be there for the October meetup, so we look forward to that.
It's going to be wild.
It will be. So besides hiking, backpacking, enjoying the outdoors, do you have any other hobbies? I know, I guess I shouldn't say I know, but I have seen
puppetry.
You painting rocks and different art and stuff like that. Is that a hobby of yours as well, or just painting and art in general?
Yeah, always been artsy, and I love my garden. I do put a lot of work into the garden out here. Don't have vegetables, just flowers, because the rabbits eat everything out here.
Mm-hmm.
And just I like getting together with different friends, throughout the time off that I have, and I do like to do things for the community. I'm in a group that does different things for like the less fortunate people, like donate food to food pantries and book bags for foster kids, and just helping the church to decorate for their Christmas huts. That's one thing we did last winter, and so that they could have kids bake cookies and stuff like that. So it's kind of nice to, reach out to the community and do different things like that. And I love it, But my
Awesome.
passion, it's just always on my mind, is when is that next night in the wilderness? When I haven't been out for a week, I start itching again, and it's just something that I guess is just in my blood. I have to be back out there.
So, so Tim, can you tell a change when she's not been out? Like, can you see it coming?
She's like a caged tiger, just pacing back and forth.
Yeah.
And then she's online looking at available permits to just about any place. And
yeah.
Next thing you know, Tim's carrying her backpack across the, living room. Here, you need a night out. You're grumpy.
I have a question for you both. What is the coldest you will camp in?
Yeah, we are pretty tough. We went to Big South Fork all winter long because it's always a couple of degrees warmer than here. So we always look every time, is it warmer at Red River Gorge or Big South Fork? And that's where we will go, if we have a weekend. And I think the coldest must have been like 27, 28.
Mm-hmm.
And we did okay. It's really doable if you have the right gear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We have really good quilts, and then we put a liner, and on top of the liner, we like to add another little down quilt just around like a cocoon.
Mm-hmm.
And that will do it. And the only mistake that we made was not having hot hands in the morning for the coffee, for warming up your coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was bad on you, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. My hands were pretty cold.
Yeah, and then you don't have feeling in your hands,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we like winter camping. Actually, I almost like that more than going in the heat and the bugs and the ticks, and all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we definitely like it when it's colder and you don't have the bugs. And we've considered getting a hot tent. We haven't got one yet, but who knows? We might do that.
Yeah.
Well, so, and I agree with you as far as like winter camping is it for me, man. I that's why I won't go in this weather. I won't go anywhere in this weather. I'll be inside for 3 months.
That's why I always say you hibernate in the summertime. I
do.
I usually don't see you. Usually
Yeah.
about May, and then I'll see you again in August. So.
Yeah. And then I'll be like, let's go. Come on, leaves are changing. Yeah. Okay, cool.
And the solitude, you have solitude. Nobody is yelling around, and you can find the best campsites. No one is out there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And you can have that campfire going all day long.
Oh, yeah.
So,
man, I miss the campfire. I do. When it's cold out.
Yeah.
And the bears are hibernating, so you don't have much to worry about. They calm down.
You don't have to worry about your tent.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. What else you got, Brian?
That's about it. I think I'm out of questions.
now?
If anybody has any questions, you want to throw them in the comment real quick. I'd like to ask
You guys,
Tim and Nicole.
Let me show your channel so people know whenever they.
Yeah, please throw me some
obligatory-
subscribers, because it's not been going well at all. Nobody is subscribing.
Yeah, everybody go. I know everybody in the chat right now probably is already subscribed to you, but if people watch this afterwards, I want everybody to go over and give her a sub. She's got some great videos. Let me talk about her like she's not here.
Well, like I said, I kept back and saying, you guys have been in so many great places. Just like start reading some of them off. I mean, it's incredible. And you have a ton of videos, and every one of them is like a monumentally great place, except for the ones you went.
Utah, Rim
Trail. Near Chris.
Huh? Yeah.
And we still got some good stuff coming up, like after this Colorado trip next week. Then we have Olympic National Park in August.
Yeah.
We're going to do the High Divide, 7 Lakes Basin Loop.
Mm-hmm.
That's
so you said Olympic. That's in Washington, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you guys hiked in Washington State before?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a trail out there called, I think it's called the Eagle Creek Trail, that is supposed to be one of the top 5 prettiest trails in the world. and it's one of them that's on my bucket list. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but
No,
I saw
actually.
a video, Eagle Creek Trail, and it's just
Wow.
glorious.
Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful up there.
Mhm.
So lush, so green.
Yeah.
So you get the rainforest setting, but then on this like the high divide loop, 7 Lakes Basin, you have 7 lakes. And you come out of this rainforest into this alpine setting with all these mountain lakes and open views, over the mountains. It's just amazing. And it's just a 20-mile loop, but you can spread that into like 4 days and really take your time out there.
Very
It's really
nice.
beautiful. Yeah. And then we have Glacier National Park coming up in September.
Yep.
So that will be awesome.
Mhm.
But that's just going to
Incredible.
be, I think that's going to be day hiking because of the grizzlies, because we see a lot of grizzlies when we're out there.
Yeah.
Of course you do.
Yeah, of course we do. As soon as we get out on trail.
Hey,
You're
Nicole's here.
changing-
Come on.
The new channel name, Nicole Hikes a Lot with bears.
With bears.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
And
guys-
then of course we plan on doing all our favorites, Red River Gorge, and Tennessee and all that. So yeah.
Yeah. Gonna be a good time.
Yep. It has been great having you guys on. I would venture to say you'll probably be being contacted by KillQuest if you guys are interested. Hey,
Yeah.
Colleen, reach out to them. I'm sure they do a live stream like us too, and it's backcountry couples. I don't know if you
Yep,
guys
I
have seen
know.
that,
I've
but
seen that. Yep.
they
yep.
made a comment earlier, and so there you go. We'll get your channel out there.
They asked
Awesome.
us, but I'm not wearing the wig. So
Yeah, I told them my wife is not big on being on YouTube. She's like, that's your thing. She's more private. So
I'm
I
not wearing
told
the
John
wig.
and Colleen, I said, hey, I will more than gladly come on, but Chris has to come
Yeah.
on as my wife, and Chris will not wear the wig. I can't get him to wear the wig. So
That would
You know.
be so
More than
awesome.
Yeah.
You should totally do that.
Chris does know.
all right. Well, thank you guys. And
Yeah.
and we hope to be on the trail with you soon. And we hope to still keep watching your awesome videos that you're making and just keep it up.
Thank
Yep.
you for
Thanks.
having us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank
Well,
you.
it was a lot of fun.
Yep.
And thanks
Yep.
everybody who tuned in.
Yeah.
Really grateful
Yeah,
for
thanks,
that.
guys. Make sure you, like you said, head over to Nicole's channel and check her out. Subscribe.
Yep.
So
And we'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
All right.
we're out. Thanks, guys.
Bye.